It's beer o'clock on Real Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Erdinger and it's the Pikantus Dunkler Weizenbock, coming in at 7.3% ABV. There's a look at the label. Gold bottle cap with the Erdinger print. There you go. Let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. Loads of smoke on the opening. At this stage of the review, I'd like to thank our channel sponsors, beersofeurope.co.uk, the largest online beer store in the UK with plenty of great beer from around the world. So it's kind of a dark Hefeweizen style beer. You can tell it's got that lovely yeast look to the beer, that lovely unfiltered look. Beers of Europe. Well, you can get some great German beer, great American beer, great British beer, great beer from most places around the world. It's a great store. If you've been away working, if you've been on holiday, you want to try the beer you were drinking whilst away, Beers of Europe is a place to try it because they generally have got a lot of the stuff that you'd be drinking. So check them out, beersofeurope.co.uk. So on with the beer. This one is a 3-finger tan coloured head. As I mentioned earlier, it's an unfiltered beer. A nice kind of dark chocolate look to it. Nice levels of carbonation. Rising up the side of the glass. Let's get the aroma. Get that banana yeast, you get that clove, you get that bit of spice, but also mixed in is a nice kind of caramel malt, chocolate malt. Smells really nice, really well put together. This is at a, I think it's a 97 or a 98 on Rate Beer. It's a very well regarded beer. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, it's very much a mixture between two very good beer styles. For me, I'm picking up a little bit of Doppelbock in there, that lovely big malty, chewy, bready, biscuity, classic German double beer, if you like. They're normally about 7-8%. Loads of caramel, loads of chocolate, loads of bready, biscuity, a big malty, chewy drink, if you like, generally about 7-8%. And then you got the Hefeweizen kicking in on the back end, so you get malt first, kind of from the Doppelbock, and then loads and loads of lovely spicy banana or banana taste with a lovely spice finish, like a white pepper. And that lovely clovey finish. The beer works very well. And I tell you what I like about this beer also is the carbonation levels. With it being that kind of Hefeweizen yeast orientated beer, there's a lot of carbonation. And that kind of springs on the tongue. It sparkles on the tongue. It brings the beer alive. And it makes the beer drink so much in your mind that the ABV would be so much lower. It's hard to imagine it's 7.3% ABV. Great drinking beer. See if there's much yeast then in this one. Not too bad. It's more of, I'd say it's more of an unfiltered beer than, you know, loads of big yeast clumps floating around in the beer. As is a Hefeweizen. Your Hefeweizens are generally kind of nice and cloudy and lemony and lovely looking. There you go. So, Erdinger. Let's talk about Erdinger for a little bit. Some of you might regard Erdinger as being slightly mass produced. Like, they are definitely a larger company. I'm very aware of their beers. I've not tried many of their beers, but I'm very aware of them. Over the years, shopping, I always see them in the supermarket. Pardon me. That's the carbonation. I always see a lot of their beers in supermarkets, and I don't know, I suppose I had, what did I have? I had an Erdinger. I think I just had their, it was either their wit beer or their Weiss beer, and it was not very good at all. Didn't like it at all. I don't think I rated it very highly. But this is a different beer entirely. This is something crafted. This is something that's been put together very well. Why do it with this beer and don't do it with the rest? Or maybe I can't really say the rest, because I'm sure there's other brands in there or beers in their brand that are very good. But the Weiss beer I had was not really a Weiss beer at all. So I suppose my way of thinking is, if you can produce a really good beer like this, then you should be able to do it with your Weiss beer. But then again, you've got that age-old cliche of they probably sell hundreds of thousands of bottles a year, maybe millions of the Weiss beer, and I suppose then quality slips, because you're thinking about mass-produced beer then rather than quality beer. And I don't think at the moment, I don't think it's a problem just for macro breweries. Certainly one or two of the larger of the craft breweries now, I'm noticing that maybe a little bit of the quality's gone down, and that's only because of the quantity they produce. Say for argument's sake, Sam Adams Boston Lager. I had it about 4 years ago and it's really nice. Had it recently and it could very well be the same beer. Maybe my palate's changed, but it just seemed to be not as well put together, not as well crafted as it once was. So it's that problem of producing lots of it and keeping that consistent quality. But it can be done. Just look at people like Brewdog and Stone Brewing Company, Sierra Nevada. They still produce great beer. Wandered off topic a little bit, but I suppose it's nice to talk about subjects in beer. It was the subject of Erdinger and their Weiss beer, but we should now move back to this. Yeah, classic kind of Doppelbock stroke Weiss beer clashed together, and the name of the beer is then called a Dunkler Weizenbock. Lovely, really nice beer, well worth trying. It's got a very high score on rate beer. Give it a go. My rating then for Erdinger Pikantus Weizenbock. Dunkler Weizenbock. I like the look of the beer. I like the aroma. I like the taste. I like that it's very good for the style of beer. I think I've had a few, maybe one or two Dunkler Weizenbocks before, and I've not been fond of them. They were okay, you know, but this is very good. Very well put together beer. Nice carbonation on the mouth, kind of springs the beer around inside. And of course, it drinks like a 4.5% beer. It doesn't drink like a 7.3% ABV beer at all. So for them reasons, I'm going to go with the kind of rate beer boys here. It's very high on rate beer because it's a very good beer. So I'm going to go in the 90s myself. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.